you could do the mouth and I could do the voice. So say, hello, I'm in the queue for Race Retro. 3, 2, 1. Hello, I'm in the queue for Race Retro.
Hello, good morning. We are currently in the queue to get into the Race Retro show at Stoneleigh Park. We've been invited down here by the guys from Learn to Race and NJM Racing. I've got Emily here with me today. I don't know if she'd like to make an appearance.
Hello.
Yeah, she is there. Let's get in the show, let's have a look around and we'll see what's going on. That's a first little glimpse of the Race Retro show. We're going to come back and revisit this in a bit. I'm going to show you around the NJM Racing and V-Box Motorsport mini race cars, as well as some of my favourite cars from the show. But right now we're going to jump over to the workshop because I've completed a slightly unusual job this week. So let me tell you what's going on here. I got a late night phone call from one of my favourite clients saying, Jay, I need your help. I've crashed my VW Polo into the back of my Jeep. The Jeep's completely fine, but the Polo's trashed. Can I bring it in? So when I arrived on Monday morning, the Polo had been dropped off at the workshop, smashed up. As you can see, the car's completely trashed. The front end is completely caved in, the car doesn't drive. Big problem. Well, it's only a big problem if you don't know how to sort it out. Luckily, I know how to sort it out. First things first was to strip off all of the broken bits. And then all I had to do was work out what parts we needed to order to be able to put it back together. It definitely needed a pair of new headlights, new radiator, new front slam panel, new front grille, and a handful of other plastic trim pieces. There was just so much broken plastic in there, from random plastic panels and parts of the car. I didn't even know what belonged to what at this point. We did get really lucky on some bits. I don't know how, but the aircon radiator didn't get damaged in the crash. The list was about 20 parts long, so we got them ordered, they arrived, and we got cracking on putting the car back together. Annoyingly, the radiator, the bit that we needed to put on first, was the last part to arrive, but as soon as it came, we got putting the car back together. It was basically reverse engineering it, so the radiator went on first, and then everything else went on after that. At this point, I didn't know how the panel gaps were going to be between the bonnet and the wings or anything like that, because we hadn't been able to shut the bonnet yet to see if everything lined up. Luckily, it wasn't too bad, and the passenger side wing just needed a little bit of gentle persuasion to be pulled back into place properly. After that, it was front bumper back on, and then the cosmetic things. Of course, we didn't just put a normal Polo grille back on it, we upgraded it to a GTI style grille. I noticed it had a few little dents on the bonnet from the impact, but as the client didn't want me to paint the bonnet, we come up with this genius solution of fitting a bonnet protector, which was the perfect size to cover up all of those dents, so you can't even see there's anything there. And that's it. The Polo's back on the road, all done, all ready to go back to the client. Yes, there's still a couple of surface scratches and that on the front bumper, but the main thing was, and the main aim was, to get the car back drivable as quick as possible for them. We can always worry about touching that bumper in another time. Now back to the fun stuff. So NJM Racing were kind enough to invite me to Race Retro to check out two of their 2026 season race cars. Both of them were minis. And if you know me, you know I've got a soft spot for this shape mini. The blue one is V-Box Motorsport's R50 Mini Rally car. It's a full rally spec competition build. And the red one is the NJM Racing track spec R53 Cooper S. I've had a few R53s in my time and I absolutely love them. I think they make the perfect hot hatch track car. And Nick was even kind enough to let me have a sit in it.
See you later.
I've still got to get my race licence, but you never know, you might see me out on track in this car sometime soon. That's if Nick lets me. After a coffee and a bite to eat, it was back to looking around more super cool cars. And let me tell you, this was one of my favourites. I absolutely love this Mark II Golf. It's got a 2 litre 16 valve ABF engine on Gen V throttle bodies, Image VR5 wheels that fill those massive arches, plenty of carbon fibre and custom retrimmed Cobra seats using a fabric from Etsy. How cool is that? It was incredible to see so many awesome cars and so much motorsport heritage all under one roof, including this Jaguar R107 F1 car from the 2000 season. This particular car was Eddie Irvine's car and used regularly throughout the season, including the Monaco Grand Prix. This absolutely incredible Ford GT40. This year marks the 60th anniversary of the first GT40 victory at the famous Le Mans 24-hour race. And here the McLaren MP4 2B, which made its Formula 1 debut in 1985 and has been driven by motorsport legends like Alan Prost and Niki Lauda. I could have spent an absolute lifetime looking around and admiring some of these cars. And on that note, I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you enjoy some of the masterpieces that were at Race Retro. Unfortunately, looking at nice cars all day isn't going to get any projects finished. So time to head back to the workshop where I'm doing some bits on the TTS again. So as you can see, the TTS is back in the workshop. And the reason for that is we've got a couple of bits that we need to look at. We need to look at that phantom puncture that's on that rear tyre. I can't work out why it's going down or what it is. So I'm hoping I'm going to whip the back wheel off and we'll find it. And if I do find something in it, I'll repair it today. So then we haven't got to worry about that tyre going down ever again until the next puncture. And while it's in here, the other thing that I'm going to do, we're going to take all of the wheels off and we're going to paint the bell housings on those new M-Tech discs. I didn't think when I ordered them, and I didn't order the anti-corrosion coatings and that they offer. I just ordered the normal discs. Now they've been outside and in the rain, in the weather and that, the surface rust is starting to build up just like it would on any brake disc that's not coated. So we're just going to sand that back quickly and put a bit of matte black paint on it to stop that from looking so rusty through the wheels. And after we've done all that, we're going to give it a well-deserved wash. Because I don't know if you know, I went to Race Retro at the weekend and it had been raining and the parking was in a field. So the TT is absolutely filthy at the moment. Let's get it up on the ramp and start by having a look for that puncture that caused us so much grief after the Driven by Espresso show. So we've got the puncture on the near side rear and I don't know what has been causing it. I don't know why. It's a brand new wheel, the tyres were all good beforehand, so we must have picked something up and it must be something so small that it's just causing that pressure loss when it's got weight in a certain place or pressure in a certain place. So this is going to be a difficult one to find. So I'm just going to do a quick visual inspection of the tread, and then if we can't find anything doing that, I'm going to take the wheel off, lay it down on the floor, and we'll spray some water on it to see if we can find out where the leak's coming from. So after just a quick visual inspection of the tread, I can't see anything in there. I was looking for screws, nails, large stones. I've seen sharp stones that have pierced the tread, glass, things like that. But I cannot see anything in the tread like that, just doing a visual inspection. So next step is we're going to take the wheel off and we'll spray it out with some water and see if we can find any leaks. 17mm, not 19mm. Take two. So first, I'm just going to pump it back up. So it's got plenty of air in it for when we check for the leaks. And actually looking at it, it's gone down to 13.5 in the space of 2 days. So it seems like it might be getting a little bit worse, which actually for this is good because it means it should be quite easy to find. So the first thing I'm actually going to check is to make sure the valve core's done up tight, because I've had that before where I've had a slow puncture, I couldn't work out what it was, and it actually turned out that the valve core was just a little bit loose. And where these are brand new valves, we might not have checked that the cores were properly in tight. So let's give that a go first. I've got my valve key here. No, valve core is tight, so it's not that. It would have been nice if it was that, but it's not that. Right, so I've got my spray bottle, and we're just going to spray this round the rim to see if there's any leaks between where the bead of the tyre meets the wheel. And what we're essentially looking for is, are there any more bubbles popping out? And then that means there's air escaping. Ah, there we are, look, you see that? All those bubbles coming out. So it's leaking from where the rim meets the tyre, and that may have also been why, when it was sat in certain places, it wasn't leaking. Because yeah, look, if I put pressure on the tyre like that, it stops leaking. Starts leaking, stops leaking. Don't know if you can see that on camera, but look, bubbles coming out. I put pressure there, it stops. Again, come out, put pressure there, stops. So there's just going to be a very minute leak there for some reason. It may be because these were my old tyres, it may be there's a little nick in the tyre, it may be there's a little nick in the tyre and it's just not sealing properly with the wheel, but that's going to be easily sorted by a bit of bead seal. Bead seal on my hands. It's basically like a rubber glue. And so essentially that's all glued now. So we'll leave that to dry for a minute and we'll see if it's still leaking. I think the reason why it was leaking, because these tyres were my old tyres off of my old wheels that were super, super corroded. So where they've been on the rim for so long, the old rim, it's obviously formed ever so slightly to that. So if there was a little bump or like some corrosion inside the rim, the tyre might have actually formed to that corrosion over time. And then when we put it on a brand new wheel, that lump where the corrosion is in the wheel isn't there. They're not allowing the tyre to seat with the wheel properly on the brand new stuff. So these things happen, but it's bead sealed up now. I'm sure that's going to be fine. And we'll check back in 5 minutes and we'll see. Right, it's been a few minutes. Let's give it a little spray up and see what's going on. So you saw straight away, the minute we sprayed that on, we started getting bubbles come up. But now I can't see any new bubbles developing in that spray, which is exactly what we want. So there's no leaks on that now, which means we have fixed the puncture. Mystery puncture solved. So while we've got it up on the ramp, we're going to take the rest of the wheels off. We're going to paint the rusty bits on the discs matte black. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to sort all of this out. We're going to rub this down, paint all of this matte black, so it's going to look nice when we look through the wheels. But that is 100% my fault for not ordering the corrosion protection on the discs. I just ordered the normal discs because this would happen to any brake disc, but on a normal car most people don't care. But because this is going to some shows and that this year, this needs to look spot on. So that's why we're going to blow all of that in matte black, and then that's going to look lovely behind the Fox VR4s. Don't forget to mask up your calipers first. Let's do that. That's better, because now when we spray this bit, there's not going to get any paint on it. So that's complete and now looks much better. And the bits with the overspray on the disc, as we drive it, that will come off anyway, so I'm not worried about that. So now the paint's dry, we'll get the wheels back on and give it a well-deserved wash. That's better. The TTS is back to looking awesome after a nice wash. And look how much better it looks with the black behind those wheels now. And you know what? I'm feeling generous. I'm going to round off this video by showing you some more cool cars from Race Retro. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff really, really helps. And before we go, check this stuff out that's coming up in future videos. We're back in the L322 Range Rover. Oh no, look at all of those bad boys. I've got to drive it on the motorway and it's doing something weird.
But without the money, it's still a waste.
I've got to go and rescue my friend Sean. And then it'll just die off. Do I dare turn it off? Oh, the one time I'm filming. Stalled it, lovely.